Welcome back to the Experience Franklin County, Indiana podcast. This week we're going to be focusing on one of the gems of not only Franklin County, Indiana, but Indiana at large, the Whitewater Canal Trail. Let's get right into this week's interview. Well, friends, it doesn't feel like spring outside right now, but spring is right around the corner, believe it or not. And what better time to talk about one of the true gems of not just Franklin County, but Southeast Indiana, the Whitewater Canal Trail. I'm here today with board member Shirley Lamb. Shirley, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to meet.
Well, thank you for having me and inviting me. I love to talk about the trail.
Oh my gosh, it is, and I said it's a gem of southeastern Indiana, and it really is. Let's start off by talking about this. People come from all over to walk, ride, run this trail, don't they?
Yes, they do. And as a note, Wade Johnson from Tri-State Trails, he was in an interview with Channel 9 News, and he's over all the trails in the Tri-State area. And he said that the Whitewater Canal Trail was his favorite trail.
Oh my goodness.
So that was a real big compliment.
The two trailheads I use the most are the one there in Metamora, right on 52, and then Yellow Bank. That's the two that I tend to use the most as starting points. And every time I'm there, I see cars from Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and often from further away. Do you have any idea what some of the furthest places you've heard of people coming and riding the trail?
Not really. Mainly it's Indianapolis, Cincinnati. Those are the people I really run into on the trail.
Right, and it's a great trail, great for bicycling, great for walking, great for running, and just soaking in nature. Well, let's go back a few years, Shirley. What was the impetus? What planted the idea to start something like this?
I think there was a group of people that wanted to really get trails started in Franklin County. And so I think they started out at the Yellow Bank Trail and did a small 3/4 mile extension toward Brookville. Then they acquired some more grant money and put in the Metamora Trail. Then we acquired some more money and put in the Feeder Dam Trail from Pennington Road to Dam Road. Then a few more years later, we got some more money and we were able to complete the trail from Yellow Bank to Metamora. So now we have 11-mile walking, hiking, biking trail.
Let's talk a little bit about grant writing. That is not an easy thing. And so we owe a debt to the folks that, put their blood, sweat, and tears into that, don't we?
Yeah, it's very tedious to get all the paperwork, all the just all the information that you have to gather in order to be accepted by all these grants. And we've been very fortunate that we've had some very generous donors to give us money, which really helps out a lot.
And on the grant end, it's like you said, it's very tedious. It takes folks that are really detail oriented to complete those tasks. But it also takes people that are more idea oriented to kind of come up with the initial ideas. So we are grateful for all of those things. One of my favorite parts about the trail is all the photography opportunities I see up and down the trail with birds and wildlife and spring flowers, fall flowers, summer flowers. What are some of your favorite things about the trail?
Just listening to the nature. There's parts of it where all you can hear are birds singing. Right now, my favorite part of the trail is the pollinator garden located at Yellow Bank. During the summer, it is just a buzz with butterflies, insects, just a myriad of wildlife, birds, what have you.
And whose idea was the pollinator garden? Was that a group of people? How did that come about? Because it is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was a group idea, and it became a large scale idea when we received some money from a donor. And then Gary Revachel came up with the idea of having our logo in the shape of the pollinator garden.
And if
And
you get a
because you
chance,
can walk right through the pollinator garden, right in the middle. There's a little path.
it's awesome. I take my camera there in the spring, summer, and fall and try to get close ups of the butterflies and the bees and the different insects that are pollinating. And, that's part of being ecologically responsible because pollinators are in danger these days, aren't they?
Yes, there are over 1,000 plants planted in the pollinator garden. They're all natives. So if you ever want to get an idea of what to put in your garden that's low maintenance, attracts wildlife, just go to the pollinator garden, take pictures, and whatever's growing there will grow in your yard, your garden.
All Indiana native plants, Midwest native plants, and that is fantastic. I've seen swallowtail butterflies, monarchs, viceroys, honeybees, bumblebees, just like you said, a myriad of wildlife in that trail. Let's talk a little bit about the wildlife up and down the trail. I've seen white-tailed deer, muskrat. I have not been fortunate enough to see a beaver, but I did see a red fox walk across the trail in front of me
Mhm.
one time. What else is commonly or uncommonly seen on the trail?
Well, there is a eagle's nest, bald eagle, right at 52 in Pennington. You have to get more onto 52 to see it. But if you walk along the riverside of the trail, you will see the bald eagle fly by. And then also you'll in the river, you'll see, is it blue herring?
Blue heron. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, blue heron, things like that. And sometimes the beavers do get over enthusiastic, and you will come across a beaver dam in the canal ever so often.
I have not seen that. I've seen
Yes.
them in the river, but I don't think I've actually seen one in the canal. And what a great piece of history, just to be able to walk along the canal and imagine what life must have been like in the 1800s, as the canal boats were transporting goods and passengers down from Hagerstown down to the river. It's just great historical. So we've got 11 miles completed, and you can bike, you can walk, you can run. I love especially this stretch from Pennington Road, from that trailhead up towards the feeder dam
Yes.
on a hot August day because it's so shady up in through there, and it's like natural air conditioning, isn't it?
It really is. I would say 75, 70% of our trail is shaded. The most sun you get it would be on the Metamora Trail for about half a mile. But
Right,
other
right.
than that, it's very wooded. It's very pleasant to walk in the summertime, especially.
It is, and the trail gets a surprising amount of use in the wintertime, doesn't it?
Actually, it does. We have some people that do cross country skiing. And I think they were able to do that several times this year since we had so much snow.
Yeah, we were fortunate. We've had a number of very dry winters back to back here in central and southern Indiana, but we had a lot of snow this year, and somebody posted some pictures of the tracks tracks on the trail.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite thing is bicycling, and the trail is really nice and level, so it makes for great riding, right?
Yes, and actually, we just resurfaced the Yellowbank Trail heading east toward Brookville, so it's got a brand new covering on it. Very, very suitable for biking.
Let's talk about the board for just a minute. As a board member, this is an all volunteer board, if I understand correctly.
Yes, it is.
What a commitment that is, and don't we owe a great thanks to them for making this possible?
Absolutely. And also all our volunteers. We have work days the third Saturday of every month, and we will have people come out and rake, chop wood, pick up trash, whatever the trail needs to just to stay in tip-top condition.
One of the things I love about Franklin County is that sense of community that we have that often I think goes with small town living and rural living. And the trail really is a community, isn't it?
I think it is. It's something that everyone enjoys participating in. And like I said, our volunteers are so dedicated. We'll have work days in the winter, but you just dress for it and they just come out and do whatever they can.
One of your big work days coincides with Earth Day. That's one of my favorites. Holly and I have been able to participate and usually have a big turnout for that one.
Yes, this year, in cooperation with the Franklin County Foundation, it's Franklin County Cleanup Day, and that is April 26th, which is a Saturday. We are going to be meeting at the Yellow Bank Trailhead, right where Monsters Turf is, at 8 a.m. There'll be coffee and donuts. You'll get a trash bag, gloves, whatever you need to pick up trash around the county. And that day, the transfer station will be open and you can drop off your trash or whatever you have free.
Awesome. And tell me that date again, Shirley, please.
That's April 26th.
And that will be at the Yellow Bank Trailhead. And is that 9 a.m.?
8 a.m.
8 a.m. at the Yellow Bank Trailhead. That trail is just immaculately maintained, and it's suitable for all kinds of bicycling, right?
Yes, we do allow e-bikes on there with a speed limit. Try
Yeah,
not to go too fast.
right.
But as the trail gets longer, we are getting more e-bikes because if you do a round trip, it's 22 miles. And so people are turning more to e-bikes. And I will give Metamora a little plug. There is a place in Metamora where you can rent an e-bike.
Yes, that's Tom's store, and gosh, I wish I
Uh-huh.
could remember the name of it, but we'll put a link in the show description because my memory is not quite what it used to be. And they are great e-bikes, and I'll say he also sells e-bikes if you're in the market
Yes.
and in that part of the state, and don't want to drive to Cincinnati or Indianapolis, where I think would be the closest places you could get one.
Mhm.
You can actually shop for one right there in Metamora. I saw somebody late this last fall, probably October, maybe early November, on a recumbent on the trail, and that's the first time I had seen that on that particular trail.
Yeah, we've had several, especially if you're a little older
Yes,
and you like the more comfort and your balance is off a little bit. The recumbents are a good choice.
they are. They are. So we've talked a little bit about biking, we've talked about walking, and a lot of people run the trail. I know some people have been using that trail that are going to come up to Indianapolis and participate in the Monumental Marathon. It's a pretty popular place for runners, isn't it?
Yes, we've had one particular lady, she was training for the Flying Pig Marathon
Oh, yes.
in Cincinnati. And then I think we had the track team from Earlham.
So the surface is a fine dust crushed limestone, and that's particularly good for folks that have issues running on pavement, right?
Yes, it's very giving. It doesn't hurt your back, and it's just very comfortable. It's from the road; it almost looks like concrete, but it's a real fine dust, but firm, but yet has resilience.
You know, when I first saw the trail and I had my bike with me, I thought, I'm not sure if this is going to be good to ride, but as a bicyclist, it's very comfortable to ride.
Yes, yes.
I know I've been on some trails that have the more coarse crushed limestone, and that can be difficult cycling, but that is not the case with this one. What year was the trail dedicated? Do you know off the top of your head, Shirley?
We just celebrated our 20th anniversary,
Oh, my
so
goodness.
it was 2005.
20 years has flown by. I don't know why, but that, because I remember the dedication.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was 2005.
my goodness, that I'm sitting here kind of stunned because it doesn't
Yes,
seem like 20 years.
yeah.
Um, are there any plans for expansion of the trail?
Yes, we would love to connect to Brookville. That's our goal, is to connect to Brookville. And, there's always things we're thinking about going to Brookville, possibly going north toward Connorsville. There's always options out there.
Very, very good. So, if folks wanted to find out about the Whitewater Canal Trail and see some pictures, you've got a website.
Yes, it's www.whitewatercanaltrail.com. And also we have a Facebook page, Whitewater Canal Trail.
And whoever is updating the Facebook page does a great job of keeping updated with things coming up. One of the special events that I remember from a few years ago was the Volksmarch group that came to town and took the trail. That may be an annual event. I'm not sure.
Yes, it is. It should be coming up again in May. It's usually the third Saturday in May, but with the Volksmarch, people are very dedicated. We'll have people from all over the state. I can't believe how far they come to walk. And some people do 2 walks in a day.
Oh
And
my
it's with
gosh.
the Indiana Volksmarch Association. They have a website where you can see where all the walks are.
And that's a fascinating hobby in and of itself, Volksmarching, because there are Volksmarches all over the state, actually all over the country, actually all over the world.
All over the world.
Yes, and you can get a book and you can get it stamped when it's almost like a
Mm-hmm.
passport. What a great hobby to get us out and moving when so many of us are tied to our computer or television screens.
Yeah, we had this one particular man. His goal was to walk every county in the United States,
Oh my
and
gosh.
he was leaving for, I forget, Missouri after he walked our Volks March. So these are very dedicated people who do this.
Oh my goodness. And I'm assuming the trail hours are dawn to dusk,
That is correct.
7 days a week, 365 days a year. It never closes.
Yes, and we also like to remind people safety is our utmost. So we do have trail cams all along the trail for people to feel more secure, to feel comfortable while they're on the trail, especially if they feel like walking alone. We do have trail cams.
That is very cool. Well, we're talking with Shirley Lamb today. She's a board member on the Whitewater Canal Trail. Like I said, just one of the gems of southeastern Indiana. We have seen such a resurgence, such a growth in trail systems throughout Indiana, and we're so glad to have this one here in Franklin County, Indiana. Shirley, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to visit.
No problem, Rick. I appreciate all the interest you have in the Whitewater Canal Trail.
Well, thank you, Shirley Lamb, for that great interview all about the Whitewater Canal Trail. We'll put a link to their website and their Facebook page in the show description. Don't forget, you can find out all about the things going on here in Franklin County, Indiana. Spring is going to be here very quickly, and with that comes festivals, music, and all kinds of fun stuff. You can check our website 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, www.franklincountyin.com. You can also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Until next time, we hope to see you experiencing Franklin County.